Good evening, welcome to tonight's Hearthstone half hour, or probably hour as it is. I'm Hammy, this is FailCraft Casts as always, hope you're well and good. Tonight is Tuesday, it's Pick Your Own Arena. You folks always vote on Twitter at FailCraft Casts for the hero that you want, and without further ado, you had the choice of Shaman, Hunter or Warrior, and you voted by quite some way for Shaman, with Hunter, Warrior narrowly, I believe, coming in second place, and Hunter not having any friends. Oh, poor Hunter. Hunter with no friends. A sad thing indeed. But what we always do on our Pick Your Own Arena is a very simple combo. We grab the hero and we do three things. You pick the deck, you vote in Twitch live for all of the hero cards, but we always, as we go through, describe what we're picking, describe the different cards and options from a newish player perspective. So if you're new to Arena, no worry, we'll try and give you a nice little intro. And we sort of stick by three rough rules. Rule number one, we always review our deck regularly. So we look at our deck 3 points through the 30 cards, after, let's say, 9 cards, 18 cards, and 25 cards. We pick 3 random points, ideally spaced out between 1 and 30. That means that we can review the cards regularly. Number 2, we jump in, and when we go through those review points, we take like the mana curve, and we also take like spells against minions. Why mana curve? Do we have an early game deck, a late game deck? Do we have lots of cards at the beginning of the game, lots of cards to play in higher mana late game situations? And that gives us an idea of when our deck is going to be landing roughly from the cards that we picked. Rule number, the spells against minions, just tot up the spells, count how many spells you have, how many minions you have. It gives you some idea as to when you are going to be lobbing around lots of minions in the game. Spells, are you playing a spell heavy control type deck? Are you going for a more minion rushy deck? And number 3, when we've taken a look at mana curve, when we've reviewed the deck regularly, when we've done spells versus minions, our third thing is just doing a little walk through the deck and seeing how it plays, how it works. That is turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, and seeing what we would play on each turn as we just run through the deck in terms of mana. Then that gives us an idea of how we're actually going to play the deck when we get into the real game. So, 3 rules there. Review regularly, take a look at mana curve, spells and minions, ratio, and then number 3, do a little playthrough in your head of what you're playing when. What do those 3 rules do? Well, very simply put, they allow you to make sure you're continually revising and continually assessing what kind of strategy, what kind of deck you're going to play, but it will give you a steer. It will mean that you don't just draft the whole deck, you pick what you think are all the best and biggest, shiniest cards, and then you take a step back at the end of an arena draft and think, oh, actually, I've got lots of good individual cards, but they don't come together into one arena type strategy. So that is what we're trying to avoid from a new to intermediate player perspective. There are more advanced perspectives you can go to and look at, but we're just trying to get the basics going. So without further ado, we have Ravenholt Assassin, we have Abomination, or we have the pint-sized Summoner. Right, remember that we're a Shaman. We have a hero power for 2 mana that lets us summon a totem. We will have lots of little totems on the table if nothing else. We can buff those totems. How can we use those for the best? The Ravenholt, for 7 mana, he's got slightly low health for his overall stats, but the stealth means that unless our opponent has got some area damage on the table, the Ravenholt Assassin can't be targeted by spells or enemy minions until he attacks. So it could be a nice mid to late game finisher. Abomination, a very solid mid game tank. The death rattle of doing 2 tall characters, remember it will affect you, of course, all characters, your own minions as well as your opponents, your hero as well as your opponents. So it is a good wall, but there are better walls there if you just want a tanky, taunty card. Last but not least, the Pint-Sized Summoner. The first minion you play each turn costs 1 less. Well, for 2/2/2, the stats are solid enough. However, it will let you start summoning minions more quickly. If you can put that behind a tank, it'll be excellent. And if you're live with us on Twitch, do sign into Twitch, do vote away. We will go with votes to keep things going. The vote is for Pint, so Pint it is. Next we have a Scarlet Crusader, a Dust Devil, or a Wind Fury Harpy. The Scarlet Crusader, Divine Shield, so we can throw this in. It will have a shield of damage when that shield is broken, very much like World of Warcraft. It's only got the 1 health, so it can probably take a couple of hits of some form or another, unless silenced before it dies. But for 3 attack, not too bad. Dust Devil, play it turn 1 and you can't play anything on turn 2 because of that 2 overload, but it has Wind Fury and 3 attack, 1 health, so if it doesn't get knocked out, then it's certainly going to be wrecking for 6 damage the next go. So Dust Devil, a situational Shaman only card. Last but not least, the Wind Fury Harpy. For 6 mana, you've got 4 attack, 5 health, so slightly understated for the 6 mana, but Wind Fury again means that it's going to be hitting twice once it's been summoned in, rather than once. So, which would you be fancying out of them 3? Entirely up to you. And we remember our first card review point, we decided to go for 9-ish in terms of mana, so we're going to be seeing what pops up there. Looks like Crusader. Next we have a Sludge Belcher. Ooh, a Young Priestess. Or Arcane Golem. So the Belcher, that's a different kind of taunting tank. If we took a look at the Abomination, for the Belcher, for 5 mana, 3 attack, 5 health, a good solid wall there, and with the death rattle of summoning a 1/2 Slimewood Taunt, if this tank goes down and it's not silenced, another tanking taunting card is going to pop up to replace it. Doesn't matter that it's only 2 health, it will get in your opponent's way, and that's generally how and why it's played. So a nice solid card there. Next up we've got the Young Priestess. At the end of your turn, give her another random friendly minion 1 health. Put that behind a tank and it can buff and buff and buff all your minions until it gets zapped off the table. Then the Arcane Golem, charge Battle Cry, give your opponent a mana crystal. Giving your opponent a mana crystal, of course, getting them back in the game or further ahead, depending on when they played. But the charge, of course, meaning that the Arcane Golem can be a powerful finisher. And interestingly, you are going for the Arcane Golem. You say we obey? I might have gone for the Sludge Belcher there, but it looks as though we're looking at aggression here so far in terms of our first 3 picks. Next we have a Lightning Bolt, a Flame Tongue Totem, and all of these are aggressive cards, so we almost have a bit of a Shaman rush going on, but of course it's way too early to tell. We're only 3 cards in. Or Shattered Sun Cleric. Lightning Bolt, 1 mana, 3 damage, 1 overload, pretty simple DPS control card. You're going to zap things with that. Flame Tongue Totem, great. Adjacent minions 2 attack. If it's protected, if it's behind tanks, if it's buffing up other minions, it's really increasing the amount of damage you have on the table. And last but not least, the Shattered Sun Cleric with the Battle Cry of giving a friendly minion 1/1, 3 attack and 2 health. It can do a bit of attacking damage on its own, but the Flame Tongue Totem gets the nod. Next we have a Zombie Chow, a South Sea Deckhand, or a Totemic Might. So, welcome to those of you joining us live. Do sign into Twitch if you're watching us but you're not in the Twitch chat. And welcome to Zano, I see Lud there as well. Zombie Chow, Death Rattle, restore 5 health to the enemy hero, not ideal, but it's a great opening. You throw it down in the opening and use it to trade away at minions. You don't take your opponent's health down, you take their minions down with the Zombie Chow. Job done. South Sea Deckhand, charge if you have a weapon equipped. We have no weapons yet, but Shamans can equip weapons, so that would be speculative if we picked it. And then Totemic Might, give your totems 2 health, as Lud says in the chat. Indeed, plus 2 health on totems for 0 mana. So, what might you be fancying from those 3? Zombie. Zombie gets a vote. Zombie's in the lead thus far. Feels like a zombie. Yep, zombie, very solid. Oh, so close. So close. Next, Lord of the Arena, Unbound Elemental, or Frost Shock. Lord of the Arena, 6 attack, 5 health. So Lord of the Arena, a decent tank. 6 attack, 5 health. It's okay. It will be a wall in the mid game. Unbound Elemental. Whether you play a card with Overload, gain +1/+1. Do we have Overload cards? Not at the moment. Might we have Overload cards? Entirely up to you. But solid if we play Overloads. Otherwise, it's solid enough for its health and its play. Last but not least, Frost Shock. Deal 1 to an enemy character and freeze. We can be zapping a freeze down there and slowing up our opponents in attacking ways. What's it going to be from those 3? Entirely up to you. Got a vote for Elementals. Oh, Evening 2PG. So, from those 3, what's it going to be? And we're at 5 out of 30. Let's get up to that 9 card drafting point. 9 cards. Oh, we got one for Lord, got one for Elemental. Okay, I'm going to go with Elemental. Streamer's choice as we have a drawn pick. Next, Angry Chicken. Feral Spirits. Questing Adventure. Okay, Angry Chicken. There's not too much to say about that. Enrage 5 attack. We give it health. Amazing. And good evening, Niska. Good of you to join us as well. So Angry Chicken, yeah, it's an Angry Chicken. Feral Spirit, great card. 2/2/3 Spirit Rules with Taunt. Overload of 2 will buff our Unbound Elemental that we have. So yeah, solid. Tanks, great. Buffs other cards. Last but not least, Questing Adventurer, a poor man's a poor man's Shade of Naxxramas. We have a chicken. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, thank you, Nuska, for the sanity, but democracy rules. An Angry Chicken it is. And welcome to Valorite. Welcome to Valorite. Good to have you with us for the first time, I do believe. So next up we have Secret Keeper, Mana-Tide Totem or Ancient Watcher. Secret Keeper, whenever a secret is played, gain 1/1. Okay, we're a Shaman, we have no secrets. If you guys really fancy it, you can have it. Next up we have Mana-Tide Totem. At the end of your turn, draw a card. Drawing a card, Brill, if we throw that down behind taunt cards, behind tanks, the longer Mana-Tide stays on the table, the more value we get from it, the more cards we draw. This is a card game. Drawing cards always gets you ahead. So that's always a good thing. And then the Ancient Watcher. Ancient Watcher, very, very awesome. Can't attack, but if we can silence it, if we can make it into a tank with a Sun Fury Protector or otherwise, then it's going to be a big, nasty wall. What have we got? Ooh, Feral Spirit Vote, and welcome to Kung Fu Scotty as well. Good to have you with us. Even your vote, Scotty, would not have saved us from the democratic vote for the Angry Chicken. Nuska 2/2. Okay, so are we wanting? We've got Mana-Tide. I see Mana-Tide there. I see okay, Watcher. I see more totems. Any more for any more? Yep, everyone's coming for some totem. Nice pick on the Mana-Tide. Card drawer is good. Oh my goodness. Next we have a Spiteful Smith, a Wisp, or an Amani Berserker. Okay, I know what you're all going to pick. I think you're in a slightly mischievous mood today. Spiteful Smith. Enraging gives your weapon 2 attack. It's a reasonably decent card in its own right. The 4 attack and 6 health are really, really solid in terms of just trading minions off the table. You can get a bit of table control with that. If we've got a weapon as a Shaman, all well and good, then awesome. Next up, Wisp. I really don't know what we're going to do with that, but I know that it is much beloved of some of our friends in the chat. And last but not least, the Armani Berserker. Well, if we take damage, it becomes a 5 attack, 2 health rather than 2 attack, 3. 2 mana, pretty solid in the early game. Trading. So let's have a look. I can see 1 Wisp, 2 Wisp. Hello to you, Mouldy. 3 Wisps. Oh dearie me. Okay, everyone's going for the lol cards this evening. Wisp. Armani, I love it. Impossible, I love it. Number 1 Wisp fan. Yep, that's 100% a Wisp draft. Next, nice cards. We've got an Earth Elemental, Doom Hammer, or Farsight. Farsight, the fantastic weapon in Perfect Dark on the N64. I hope some of you get that reference. Okay, so Earth Elemental, brilliant, lovely chunky tank. The 3 overload will buff an Unbound Elemental if we have it on the table. However, that will just throw down on the table, be oh so strong, and then just real chunky. Doomhammer, well, throwing it down, not Wind Fury and a double overload, but then we have 16 damage with Doomhammer if we get a Rock Biter weapon or similar, and the 3 attack on top. That'll be really solid. Last but not least, Farsight. Draw a card. That card costs 3 less. Oh, we pay 3 mana to save 3 mana on whatever it is. If we get a big nasty card, then that saves us mana. If it is nothing too funny, If it's cheaper, then okay, we might not get value. It's quite random. It looks like the Doomhammer's flying on in. Oh, 2 votes for Farsight. I can see some interesting options. A couple of Farsights. I can see that Doomhammer's just sneaking ahead. Any more for any more? And you guys will get to pick the next card as I do our quick deck review, because we've got to our first deck review point 9 cards in. All well and good. We will try and get to 2 games, I think, in after we finish this. Yeah, it looks like a Doomhammer to me. I see, yep, I see Doomhammer. Yeah, I think that's a majority of Doomhammers. Kung Fu Scotty typing a Doomhammer a couple of times, trying to sneak that in there. Doomhammer. Next we have a Totemic Might, a Corehound, or an Iron Fur Grizzly. And while you guys choose between those 3, because we've covered a few of those, I'll just quickly cover them. Totemic Might we've covered. Totem's 2 health, situational, but we have Totem. Corehound, 5 health is low, but the 9 attack is big for that 7 mana. And then last but not least, Iron Fur Grizzly, a very solid early game 3/3/3 taunting tank. Next, let's go through our 3 rules. We're at our first review point. So rule number 1, review regularly. Doing that, rule number 1A, as it were. Let's jump into 2. 2 is look at our mana curve, look at our spells against minions. We have an early game deck so far, nothing late game. At the moment we're rushing or mid-gaming, depending, but is our first review point. We'll get more of an idea by our second review point. So, tentatively an early to mid-game deck. Spells against minions, well, we have Icy Thunder. I see 0 spells, 7 minions, and 9 minions, 1 weapon. How do we play turn by turn? We attack in the early game with all of these crazy cards. We cement our attack. We've got a bit of a rush in the early game actually. Mana Tide would be good to hide behind tanks, but we have none. We've got pretty much all aggro and then into a Doomhammer. So at the moment we're early to mid game aggro, and we can develop that deck as we see fit. So that is our quick review point number 1. We followed our 3 rules. Review regularly and often, look at mana curve, spells against minions, and do a mental run through of the deck in our heads, mana by mana, turn by turn, to see where we're going to get to. Okie dokie, so let's zip straight back in, and welcome to Plunko19 joining us, hoping you're well and good. Okay, back, and what have you guys picked? We've got, I can see Bear, I can see Totem, Hound, Totemic, because that's actually a great card. Hey, look at that, we've got 2 totem, got a couple of totems, a couple of bears. Ooh, bear. I see 2 bears, 2 hounds. Okay, oh, right. Okay, it's actually a. Oh, okay. What's it going to be? Right, streamer's choice. I think between we've got Totemic and Iron Fur. I'm going to go with a bear. I'm going to go with Niska on that one. I'm going to go with the bear. We might get some more Totemics. Next we have. Oh, I know what you guys are going to pick. We have a Mad Bomber, Stranglethorn Tiger, or Shield Bearer. The Mad Bomber, one of the princes of this stream, favoured by you for his RNG ability. Will he cause us victory or take us to horrible defeat? I just don't know, but we always love finding out. Next, the Stranglethorn Tiger, well known for me silencing, unstealthing my own Stranglethorn Tiger. Always good fun. Last but not least, the Shield Bearer. A very nice early game tank, good to shield our aggro. Would be great with some of our cards, but I think that the mood that everyone is in today, it's going to be the Mad Bomber. Next we have, another Totemic Might. Totemic Might is really asking to be picked, but we've also got the lovely Hex and a Gnomish Inventor. I'm not going to cover Totemic Might, we know what that does. Gnomish Inventor, 2 attack, 4 health, will do some trading, oh, hang on, no voting twice? Yeah, that's a good point, says Niska. I'm going to double check. No, I think, was the vote rocked? I think it was 4-4-1 for the bomber. So Gnomish Inventor, give us a card draw, and then it means that we can certainly start trading minions off the table with it. It's fairly solid. I can see 3 hexes. Yep, I think that Hex is the one. Hex gets the nod. Welcome to all of those of you joining. I can see a bunch of you not logged into Twitch. You should do that. You should log into Twitch chat, and then you should be voting away as well. The third. Okay, everyone's gone for Hex. Hex being the lovely control card. I'll just quickly describe Hex. Transform a minion into a 0/1 frog with taunt. You can use that to zap away any nasty threats on the board. Next we've got Wind Fury, Acidic, Swamp, Ooze, or the Wind Speaker. So nice cards there. Wind Fury allows a minion to swing twice in one turn. Nice if you've got a big trucky finisher that can just do loads of damage. Next, the Acidic Swamp Ooze, King Ooze of this stream. 2/3/2, his stats are actually pretty solid for an early game card. You can do some good trading, and then the Battle Cry of the Weapon Destruction is situational, but because he is so popular, I have a feeling we're just going to have to draft Ooze anyway. Last but not least, the Wind Speaker is actually pretty good. You get that Wind Fury effect for 4 mana. The stats of 3/3 are not too underpowered, and the Battle Cry is very powerful. Throw down a Wind Speaker when you've got a big minion on the table, and it's kind of good, better value, I think, than Wind Fury, really, because you get the minion as well, depending on the type of deck you are playing. So I can see Ooze, 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 Wind Speaker, Wind Speaker. The Wind Speakers are rallying so hard, but Silence, Ooze is king. We've got Ooze, Wind Fury, Wind Speaker, change to a Wind Speaker. Right, narrowly Ooze. Next, it's a Nightblade, a Mad Scientist, or a Reckless Rocketeer. So the Nightblade, 3 damage to the enemy hero, 4/4 OK for the 5 mana cost. And hello to Greta. So good for a bit of direct damage to the enemy hero. 4/4 attack and health will trade some minions or similar off the table. Not awful. The Mad Scientist, secret from your deck into the battlefield. That's all great, apart from we're a Shaman and we have no secrets. No secrets. But 2/2/2. Reckless Rocketeer, charge, 5 attack, 2 health, throw it down, do some damage. 4 pointless science. I do like pointless science, but it looks as though I can see some reckless science, reckless. The reckless is going to sneak it unless there's any other votage. And next we have a Hex, we have an Ironbeak Owl, or a Fire Elemental. Nice little 3-pick. So Hex, we've got 1, do you want 2? Hexical control is always awesome. Ironbeak Owl, throw it in, throw some silences down, silence big minions. We're not really going to want to play that as an attacking option, given its tiny health. The silence is key with that card. Situational awesomeness. And then, last but not least, the Fire Elemental. Brilliant basic, 6/6/5, the 3 Battle Cry of doing 3 damage. Real strong. So yeah, a couple of strong cards. Do we want the crowd control of Hex? Do we want the big tanky beastness of Fire Elemental? Or perhaps the silence, the situational silence of the Ironbeak Owl? Oh, and it looks like there's a Fire Elemental majority. Fire Elemental it is. We're going to be hitting like a truck. Yep, fire it is. Next, an Undertaker, a young Dragon Hawk, or a Grimscale Oracle. Remember, our next deck review point is 18 cards, so we're going to be jumping in and doing that 18 card review point and see how we go. Undertaker, well, if we have, whenever we summon a Death Rattling minion, we gain 1/1. Brilliant in so many constructed decks. How many Death Rattles do we have? 1. I see 1. 2. No, 1. Okay, not going to be the hugest, most efficient thing. Dragonhawk, you throw it down, if it lives it will tap for 2 damage, then it's going to die with that 1 health. But hey, it could have a glorious, the flame that burns twice as bright, lives half as long, and that's the Dragonhawk to a T. Grimscale Oracle, all other Murlocs have 1 attack, we have no Murlocs. Are we going to open the Murloc door? Opening the Murloc door, if you draft 1 Murloc, then by the rule of Murlocs, when the Murloc door is open, everyone just picks loads of Murlocs. What is it going to be? Young Dragonhawk, I see a Dragonhawk, I see 2 Dragonhawks, 3 Dragonhawks, Pointless Undertakers coming back. Looks like it's going to be a Dragonhawk, unless there are any other picks going otherwise. You guys are picking a fun and interesting deck, but we could work with it. Oh, Undertakers! Greta Mur coming back. And we had, I can see Dragonhawk. It's streamer's choice between the 2. Oh, goodness. What's it going to be? I'm going to go with Nuska on this one because I feel that Nuska's been voting against the tide for so long, so we're going to grab Dragonhawk in there. Next we've got a Corehound, a Reincarnate, or a Blood Sail Raider. Corehound we've done. Reincarnate, destroy minion, return its life with full health. Is there anything we can abuse? Well, that's kind of a heal, but unless there's things that some things... can we use and abuse anything? Sort of battle cry. Well, really, it's for like Stalag and Fugen, and other things like that. Bloodsail Raider, gain attack equal to the attack of your weapon. Well, we've got a Doom Hammer. There's no reason why we couldn't have a forward attack Bloodsail Raider. So yeah, a bit of a tough 3 pick there. What do you fancy out of those each? Just give in to the rest of us, Nuska, says Zorno. Give in. Good progress, guys. We're rocking on through this nice and quick. Should have time for 2, maybe 3 games. I can see Reincarnate. Ooh, I can see that. That's. Oh, yep. Ooh, okay. Looks like Reincarnate is a 10 in the lead with Corehound narrowly behind. Corehound says Greta, mister. Someone has to be the voice of reason. Nuska and Rajanorg, the wise voices, the wise. Okay, what have we got? It's looking like some very determined Corehounding there. Loving it. I think that we've got a Reincarnate there. Who needs reason when you have wisps? That sounds like a good website strapline. Right, Reincarnated is then. Next we have a Fire Elemental, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. We have a Fire Elemental, which we have 1 of. Do you want 2? Solid. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, his or herself, not entirely sure. 2 attacks, 7 health. Could be a wicked tank if we can stick a tanky card on it. And last but not least, the Stormwind Champ. Other minions with 1/1. We've got a lot of attacking minions that could go in pretty nicely. Donatello, Stormwind, more elementals. Where is Doge? It's a good question. Doge is chilling out downstairs at the moment. If he comes up, I will. The camera is ready. I will show you. Look, camera is ready. I can see Fire Elemental. Fire Elemental is ready to roll. Right, what have we got? More elementals. I see. Stormwand. Okay. What's it going to be? Stormwand 1/1. Mobile strugglage there. I can see elementals. Turtle. Okay, fire. Yep, I think that's an elemental like to keep things rocking. Okay, next. What's an Osaid? Oh, an Osaid would be an Oasis Snapdraw, I reckon. I'm going to try and translate Gretamir and see what he's saying. Gretamir. We have a Feral Spirit. Manatide. Or Welling Soul. Okay, so while you guys pick between those 2, we've picked 2 of those. The Welling Soul, Battlecraft Sonic to all our own minions. Don't think we really want to do that, but who knows. Okay, 19 cards. We're at our second review point now. So rule number 1, review the mana curve as well as reviewing regularly. Still got a very early game mana curve there, 5 and 6. This is an early to mid game deck at this point in time. We're not going late game. Let's go and have a look at spells against minions. Well, have we got more spells? Just the Hex. Only the Hex. everything else being minions and weaponry. So we're certainly got a hard trading minion style. We're going to be throwing down minions, attacking, trading on the board, very dynamic. Looking forward to that. Lots of spells being thrown around, which is cool. I like minion decks. Thing is, if you've got a minion-centric deck, you need to make sure that you can always play a minion every turn to keep your tempo going. You're not going to have spells to nuke things out of the table, silence things to get yourself out of trouble. You need your minions to get yourself out of trouble. Last but not least, let's go and walk through, turn by turn, run through it in our head and see how it's going to go. Well, we can attack early on in the game. Reincarnate will drop later in the game most probably, but all of our early game minions, Totem Bomber, Summoner Hex Golem, Grizzly even, all of that. We've got a tank now in Grizzly to put our Manatide Tome behind, which is good. Scarlet Crusader, Unbound Elemental, we've still got a lot of attacking options. Now with Doomhammer, 2/5 Elementals and Reckless Rocketeer, we're very much looking to end this game in the early to mid game. It's going to be a mid game. We need to be trading at this point in time, minion for minion, keeping the table under control in the early to mid game, and then swinging in with our big chunky cards. Doomhammer, the Double Filer Elemental and the Reckless Rocketeer. We need to finish this game probably by turn 5, 6 or 7. If we're going much more beyond that, we don't have the late game at the moment. So, with our review often, looking at mana curve, spell against minions, and then little mental run through is rule number 3 of our deck. We've got a bit of a strategy coming together. This is an early to mid game deck. We're going to be rushing, trading with minions, keeping the table under control in the early to mid game, grabbing control in the mid game with those really solid mid game cards, Unbound Elemental through Reckless Rocketeer, and then pushing forward for the win, hopefully at that point. Okay, so we know where we're going. That's good. Back to the draft. Covered these 3 cards. I can see Feral, Wailing Soul, Creator Mister coming in, making the impact. That's a Feral Spirit if ever I saw one. Lovely stuff. You guys rejected it last time, but you've gone for it this time. Next we have a Wind Speaker, a Raging Worgen, or a Shield Bearer. The Wind Speaker, we've covered. The Raging Worgen we have not. Enraged Wind Fury and +1. 3/3 to 5/2, but remember that 5/2 then has 3/3 comes a 4/2 with 1 damage. So, and it can be 8 damage in a turn. It can be hitting like a truck due to its Wind Fury in 1 attack. It stays alive. Staying alive. Evening Thrash, good to see it. And then last but not least, the Shield Bearer. Throw it down early game. We could certainly shield all of our aggressive early game minions. Ooh, okay, everyone is fancying, I see, Wind Speaker. Wind Speaker. While you ponder on that, I'll be back in just 2 seconds. Apologies for the slightly chaotic camera. We have Doge Cam. Just going to check. Oh, hang on. Sorry, for those of you just wondering, my wires are half has just popped out, so I'm just going to get them settled down. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Okie dokie. Righty then. Let's just get ourselves sorted. Okay, right, back to the show. Where are we? We have, oh, okay, I see. Wind Speaker, Worgen Wind Speaker. That looks like a Worgen. Oh, changing to Winged Speaker. Okay, yep, a Wind Speaker is in. Rocking and rolling. Okay, next, we're getting there, folks. Let's keep on running. We have a Harvest Golem, an Acidic Swamp Ooze, or Haunted Creeper. We've already covered a ooze. We've got one. Do you want two? Okay, there we go. Righty then. Yeah, sorry. Dog. Getting him. Okay, so we've got the Acidic Swamp Ooze. The Harvest Golem, a brilliant 2-for-1. 2 attack, 3 health. When it dies, we're going to grab another, which is always good. And then last but not least, the Haunted Creeper. Death Rattle, summoning 2 1/1 Spectral Spiders. We will be able to certainly make some good trades with that. I can see Creeper, Golem. Never can have too many Ooze, Spider one, Doge Villain. Looks like a couple of Golems. I can see Ooze. Yeah, okay, Spider one. Right. What's it going to be? Let's keep it rocking and rolling. Okay, Golem or Creeper, good cards. Spider, says Thresh, making a passionate argument for the Spider also. Okie dokie. Okay, I think we've got Creeper, Ooze, Golem. Okay, we have many 0-1-2s. Okay, I'm gonna jump in there and say, I see Spider, I see 2 Spiders, I see 1 Ooze, I see 2 Golems. Okie dokie, Harvest Golem, I'm gonna go and jump in there next. Okay, next we have a Flesh-Eating Ghoul, a Raging Worgen, or an Unbound Elemental. We have, I do believe, covered all of these cards bar the Flesh-Eating Ghoul. So whenever a minion dies, gain 1 attack. We've got lots of little minions we could sacrifice. So I can see some shouts for a Ghoul. We've got a Raging Worgen as well. Could certainly throw that down and do some damage in the early game. Or Unbound Elemental. Whenever you play a card with Overload, gain 1/1. We have Overload cards. We have 1 Unbound Elemental. Do you want 2? It's entirely up to you. Ghoul. Lots of votes for ghouls. Lovely stuff. Good, I love your unanimity. We have a Bloodlust, a Lightning Bolt, or Stone Tusk Boar. So, Bloodlust, give your minions 3 attack this turn. Brilliant finisher. We've got lots of little minions, could be very strong. Lightning Bolt for some control. 3 damage, Overload 1. Can buff up our Unbound Elemental. Or the Stone Tusk Boar for a 1/1 charge. Entirely up to you on that front. Good boy. See some Bloodlust shouts. Bloodlust. Yep, that looks like oh, I can see a bolt coming in there from Scotty as well. Bloodlust. Bloodlust, 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 bloodlust it is. Lovely. Next we have a Kobold Geomancer. Frostshock. Or Goldshire Footman. So, what have we got? Well, there's spell damage of +1. We don't have huge amounts of spells. I'm sorry folks, we've slowed down a bit. Just getting a little bit. Checking the dog's okay. He's wondering where my wiser half is. Frostshock, deal 1 to an enemy character and freeze it. And then the Goldshire Footman. Taunt, an early game taunt. We can certainly stick up a wall in front of some of our aggro minions. The Kobold's 2/2/2 if nothing else. If we take a look, we don't really have spell damage in this deck, hugely speaking. So, Kobold, I can see Goldshire, not enough value for the Geo. Frostshock isn't very good. I can see a Footman, some nice Footman shots coming in there. Okay, so, right, I can see Goldshire, I can see Footman, a bit of Frost, yep, Goldshire all coming in, we've got a Goldshire there. Next we've got a Booty Bay Bodyguard, a Magma Rager, or a Blood Sail Raider. Fascinating fact on Magma Rager, apparently officially the worst card in Hearthstone in terms of when it's played, the percentage of people who go on to win a game after a Magma Rager is played. That was from the Hearthstone panel at BlizzCon, and I love the fact that because of the slight delay in the stream, everyone's immediately voting for Magma Rager. Wonderful work. What kind is the dog? Our dog is a King Charles Cavalier. Lovely little chap. He's it's a bit warm in here. He's you might, if you can listen in the background, you can probably hear his tail whacking on the floor. He's decided to sit the exact opposite way to which the camera is pointing. I'm not going to turn the camera around. That's the prepared dog zone. So what have we got? Magma. I see Magma. Bodyguard, Bodyguard, Bodyguard. Okay, the votes are coming in for Booty. Lovely stuff. Show me the Booty. Magma. Great. We got 3 Magmas, and do you know what? Sense has just... Oh no, it's 3-3. Is it 3-3? It is 3-3. I know, it's 4-3. Thrash coming in with a decisive contribution there. Next, we've got a Scarlet Crusader, Fire Elemental, or Shattered Sun Cleric. Lovely. So we've covered the Shattered Sun Cleric. Do you want one? Up to you. Fire Elemental, we've already got 2. If you go for 3, then oh, what a crazy deck we have. That could be loads of fun. The Shattered Crusader, Scarlet Crusader, we got 1. Did we get 1 in the end? Yeah, we did. At the very beginning we got 1. So we got 1, do you want 2? Okay. Fire again. What's it going to be? All covered, all good. Let's take a quick look at our deck. We're lows in the early game. We've got a huge rush and then a bit of mid-game finishing. Ooh, it looks like the elemental votes are coming in. I like Thrash's logic in that he's saying Shattered is good for early buffing of taunts or Wind Furies and charges. Well, it certainly is. It will make our early game more powerful. I can see fire, 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 fire. Set me on fire. Okie dokie. We've got fire, 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 fire. Fire it is. Almost there. Next we have a Dust Devil, Mad Bomber, and Ancestral Healing. Dust Devil we've already covered. A Wind Fury with an overload of 2. Throw it down turn 1. You're not going to drop anything turn 2. Mad Bomber, we've got 1, do you want 2? And Ancestral Healing, restoring a minion to full health and giving it Taunt will be very, very nasty. We can even just give things... So we do have big minions that we can make into a big nasty thing. Would you fancy another bomber? Entirely up to you folks. Ancestral supports those fire elementals, says Scotty. Absolutely agree. Ancestral can save you from big threats. Good for fire elementals. Mad Bomber and Dusted Devil aren't great, says Thrash. I see a bomber or 2, a couple of ancestrals, healing. Yep, that's definitely an ancestral healing vote. Okay, 2 gods to go. We're almost there, guys. Dragonling Mechanic, Totemic Might for the 4th time, and Dancing Swords. Dragonling Mechanic summons a 2 on Dragonling. The 2 attack full health will give us loads of pressure. Not huge. Totemic Might, we've not taken a single one. Maybe you guys will fancy taking it on this occasion. And then last but not least, the Dancing Swords. Death Rattle of your opponent drawing a card is not ideal, but the 4/4 attack and health for that 3 mana is pretty strong. I see. Ooh, there is some Might votes. Struggling, others aren't good. Time for a Troll card. Might. 4th. Lud going for a 4th. Someone call me a Mechanic. There are the votes for the Mechanic. In they come. Next. Angry Chicken. The mood that you folks are in this evening. I know exactly what you were going to pick. Angry Chicken. Well, we've got 1, do you want 2? I'm not going to dignify that card with another evaluation. Light Warden, whenever a character's healed, gain +2. We don't have huge healing in here by Ancestral and similar, unless we get a healing total on the ground. Arcane Golem, you guys picked one of these in the early game, so we've already had 1. Do you want another one? Mega Pressure. Super charging. Given how ridiculously early game our deck is, it might be quite a powerful option. And already I see the votes for the Angry Chicken streaming forth. Chicken OP. Golem fighting back. Some sanity fighting back with the Golem. Okay, so right, we've got, I see 2 chickens, 3 chickens, 1 Light Warden, 1 Golem. It looks as though that you're taking us to down the chicken route. I need some fried chicken. Chicken it is. Righty then, so to summarise, we have... Oh, we now no longer have an overlay. Excellent. Remove the wrong thing. While I try and get my overlay back up, we'll just do a little quick deck recap. So finally, if we look at our mana curve, we have a huge amount of a very large amount of early to mid game cards. If we then take a look at the spells against minions, we've topped up our spell count with an Ancestral Healing, a Reincarnate, there's a Hex in there as well, Feral Spirit makes it 4, and Bloodlust makes it a 5. So 5 to 25 with a weapon or 2 in there someplace. And finally, rule number 3, we do our run through. Well, we know that our game is probably going to be early to mid game. We're going to be rushing and pressuring many funds with amusements. In the early game, well, you guys went for Wisps and Chickens just because I think you're in a funny mood today, but that's fine, it's your choice. Ancestral Healing will help us top up one of our bigger elementals at the end, good pick there. Tanks in the early game, early DPS and trading with our minions, keeping the pressure on, we're throwing down all the minions we can as soon as we can, and keeping our opponent under control on the table, and hopefully doing some damage to their hero. When it gets to our mid game, we really need to jump and dominate. Windspeaker can be thrown on top of a Fire Elemental for a finisher, equally on top of a Reckless Rocketeer for a finisher, and Bloodlust should hopefully top up all of our big minions. So I think it's throw down minions, attack, trade, control, win, profit. So folks, that is part 1. So part number 2, we are going to be jumping in now, playing a couple of games and seeing how we get on. Okie dokie, right, so starting hand, I'm going to have to leave the Angry Chicken in. You would be upset if I did not. Let's go. Okay, right, we've got a coin, we've traded back. I've got a Manatide Totem, Scarlet Crusader, I've got a Flesh Eating Ghoul, we have options. Ooh, okay, so turn 2, I've got a Booty Bay. There goes the Angry Chicken. Charge! I need to get rid of this, so I'm probably going to be throwing down a coin Scarlet, or I can sacrifice a minion to gain 1. You may well trade this away. Down goes an Ancient Washer, that is an interesting play. Okay, I could coin into an iron for correct play here. Scarlet Crusader would certainly start to help me trading these things away. I think that the coin into a Crusader is the play. I'm not going to be going for the Ghoul, because I'm going to keep my chicken alive for now. I'm going to use that bubbled minion to take this out, hoping that our opponent doesn't get a Silence or a Sun Fury Protector, because that will be activating this Ancient Watcher in some form or another. So with his pirate cards, what's he going to be jumping on? Thrash says, let's pray he doesn't have silences for that Watcher. I could not agree more. And oh, he's got a silence for the Watcher. Real trouble, real fast. And look at this, he's just charging. Okay, right, trouble is ahead. I cannot take this out in one turn. Manatide will not help me hugely. Options, Totem could go for a Totem. I'm going to throw down a Gold Shire, because I want that tank. I'm then going to take a chance, another Totem. Oh, I really lucked out there, that was nice. Okay, I'm going to remove that. I'm actually going to remove this too. Reasons for that: he's going to need more on the table to actually be able to bust through. He needs spells, or he needs a charging minion if he's going to get through my 2 tanks. Hopefully that means I can, if I only had another coin, but I can throw down an iron for Grizzly next turn to tank up and get things sorted there. Alrighty then, oh, and his own Tazdingo goes down. Ooh, looking a little bit hairy scary. So Arcane Golem is going to die to that, sadly. Really, I think our option is going to be an iron for... And he will probably bust one of those out of the way, he'll bust the other out of the way. I can probably trade away, unless he has a spell that removes the Scarlet Crusader, like a Mortal Coil or similar. I'm going to sacrifice that. The main reason is I just don't want it dying. It is sort of a in before Mortal Coil that I just don't want a 1 damage removing that last 3, so I want to get the 3 on the Shield Master. However, a Shattered Sun Cleric goes down, buffed to +4/+3. Down goes our tank, down goes our other tank, our life tap. Our opponent is well in control. We're very much on the back foot. Well, a Fire Elemental will certainly let me remove that tank next go, or Thumpin. I'm going to throw down my Booty Bay, just basically offering him the trade there. My Fire Elemental can drop in and remove the Watcher, and then we've almost got the table back under control. Very sensibly done. Use the bigger card up. Windfury Harpy is going to be doing 8 damage to me next turn unless I have a nice Hex. And we're looking in trouble. The Fire Elementals are coming out. Is it too late? We'll see. Just realised that probably, yeah. He's got 11 damage on the table there with the Windfury. Down goes a Doomguard. Well played. And that was a very fast game. Boom! Gone and done. So let's try and get ourselves some glory and honour back in the next game. What were our challenges? Well, I'm gonna say that getting Angry Chicken turn 1, I'm sorry guys, was a bit of a challenge, but it's a fun night by the Pix Thrash. Let's get another one in. We can do it. We can go with all the Theorycraft in the world. Okay, Paladin, we can do it. Let's get a couple of wins and then I'm happy with this deck. Right, oh, Angry Chicken again first turn. Yeah, I'm going to keep Angry Chicken. Our turn. Righty then. I'm gonna. Right. There's no way of enraging my chicken. I'm gonna throw down the young dragon hawk. Chicken can go down as a last resort. In fact, I may as well have just thrown that back in the deck. Spite your choices by not playing the chicken. I think you should have saved the chicken for our non-existent buffs, says PG. It's a very fair point. Okay, so I can, well, yeah, trading that out the way would be slightly silly. I'm going to totem. I'll do one. I'm only going to remove that minion just in case it decides to get her buffed with something nasty. Another reinforce. Oh, so far so good. I'm actually going to go ahead and just why not? Would be nicer after an unbound elemental, of course, but those two tanks in position will solidify everything. So though we're overloaded, we'll be in a good position to... Oh, Swordsmith goes down. And the secret goes down as well. Very nasty. 2-1. Yeah, Fell Spirit into Summoner and turn 5 Elemental. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. So I've got options here. Do I throw down a totem or do I go for a pint size? Alright. If I get a healing totem, I'm going to RNG for a healing totem. Oh, I got lucky. Right, so I can take this out. One each. Oh, nasty. Down goes Enable Sacrifice. Up comes a 2 on Defender. And that's gone. Okay, so I'm actually going to do that because up by 1, the healing totem's going to trigger in and do a nice job there. Looking at the plays, Master Swordsmith, it would be nice to get rid of. If he throws down another minion. Yep, and there's a 2-1. 2-4 buff, and he can actually trade one of these off the table and still be alive. Turn 5. I'm not going to win Speaker, feels like a pint size. And chicken, oof, nasty. Okay, this is getting a bit nasty. So what do I trade? Do I trade the bigger attacking minion, or do I trade the swordsmith that's causing me all of the grief and aggro? I think I'm going to trade away. Let's just summon her. Do I pint size? Oh, if I'd pint sized, I could have had the cheaper fire elemental. Feral Spirit into Summoner and turn 5. Sid Thrash, a very sensible set of plays there. 5 and into 1 with a chicken. Is it worth toteming knowing that I'm going to get a tank or a flame tongue? The tank would be kind of handy, but I think... Oh yeah, let's go into a pint size. I'm going to take the big one. Fill it with totems and bloodlust, says PG, an equally valid play. Oh, and the buffs just dropping and dropping and dropping. Okay, right, well we've got our slightly cheaper fire elementals now, which is all well and good. We've got the 0 chicken. I could just lust. The lust for the 3 would help me clear the table. Nothing better than 3 chicken. 3 chicken is quite nice. There we go, trades in, I'll get the chicken down, and that healing totem actually giving us quite good value. Oh, there's the Consecrate, nasty, 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 all gone, but we still have the fire elemental alive. A reinforced pops. So we've got some trouble. Now we can start bringing a wrecking train with the wind speaker very shortly, which will be good. I'm going to fire elemental. Let's go for some aggro. I'm just going to get the pressure on now. Got 12. I can Wind Fury to make that 12 into an 18 as a matter of interesting fact. So we're just oh, Lust had hit him in the face. Face. Would the Lust have been the play? Lust would have been 918. Yeah. And then Windspeaker. Yeah, that would have been a better play. Oh. Some fail plays coming in now. Okie dokie. Right, so I've got Lusts and an Unbound. I can't Windspeaker. What's it going to be? That is going to start removing things now. I can just try and burst him down. I'm just going to rush straight for the face and hope we can still do this. Oh, and there's a Holy Light, healing everything back up. Master goes down, minion sacrificing comes, unsurprisingly, nicely taken that out. It's a good job we got a third elemental kicking around somewhere. Unstable Ghoul. Taunt someone, that minion dies, he will draw a card. Can throw down an Unbound after. No, just going straight for the face with that dwarf. Okay. Join or die. And of course he's getting the card draw. Down goes that clearance. Now, I'm thinking, if I go 5-8 to the face, he can trade 2 of those away. There's no Bloodlust available. Do I just trade the minions off the table, but he's got more cards on the deck than me? Well, I'm not going to feed him more cards. I think I'm going to have to take out the Cultist. Down goes a Grizzly. Oh, and a Crocolisk as well. It's all getting pretty nasty. May well be a double loss here. Let's see if we can get it back. Fair trade there. And we're now getting that buffed flesh-eating ghoul for multiple minions. Okay, let's work this out. I think hexing the taunt is probably the plan. But no, it's going to transform a minion into a 1/1 with taunt. Do I hex this ghoul? The ghoul will be more nasty in terms of an attacking threat. Could have lusted there, would have let me take out that tank. I'm just wondering if he's got too many tanks up and I can't draw enough cards. Oh, down goes a Gadgets and Auctioneer of all things. Frostwolf Warlord. I think this may well be doom for us, given that my one and only hex has just gone and an even bigger threat has just emerged. Okay, so that's looking all good, but on the bright side, guys, we've got a Wisp. So, you guys with your Wisp. Right, so that's 8, 10, 14, 17 next turn. I can mitigate some of that. Double Frostwolf Warlord, I think we can safely kiss this game goodbye. Okay, that table is looking oh so painful. We have lost, but we will go out in glory. So, thank you so much for tuning in. That was good fun. We drafted an interesting deck, compromising of early to mid-game threats. However, there were some interesting picks, but it's your choice. You pick the deck, and then we try and play it as best as we can. So yeah, Wisp 2 Angry Chicken. This might be going for 3 defeats, but we'll see how we go. if you have tuned in for the first time, if you're on Twitch, do check us out, youtube.com/FailCraft Casts. Loads more episodes there of greater achievement and worse achievement. Take your pick, whether you like glorious highs or terrible fails. There's something there for you. If you're on YouTube, twitch.tv/FailCraft Casts. We try and go live Monday through Friday at the times in the bottom left. Tweet on @FailCraft Casts, like the YouTube on Twitter when we're going live, and we try and let you know in as early advance as possible. Last but not least, website, failcraft.org. A few news articles, links, other bits there, and similar. So thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow if you're live for Ladder Wednesday. We'll ladder it up a bit, see what's going on the ladder. And if you happen to like what we do, do throw a sub or a follow or share some of it. Makes our day when you do that. Would be much appreciated. So thank you so much for tuning in. This is FailCraft Casts. I've been Hammy. Hopefully see you soon for another Hearthstone half hour or an hour if it's on a Tuesday.